What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another review on Clutch Cinema Talk, and today we are doing Wakanda Forever, baby, the newest MCU movie to just come out. I gave you guys a week to watch it, and so that's why we are talking all spoilers in this movie. All spoilers. I am not waiting up for nobody anymore. It's been a week. You've had enough time. You've had more than enough time, actually. We're gonna be talking spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen it by now, just go watch it. All right, you got my thumbs up. That way you could come back and give this a thumbs up. You like that, yeah. So, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This was a highly anticipated movie coming in, and a very much talked about, that's English, right? Because of Chadwick Boseman's death and how they were going to handle it, and how they're going to handle it going forward, especially with the news that they weren't going to recast him. And I, for one, will say that this movie that Ryan Coogler made, he did a very, very good job, especially under the different circumstances he had to face going into this, especially the number one with Chadwick Boseman's death. The star of Black Panther 1, it was not going to be in it. That was an enormous obstacle to overcome. The coming off the first Black Panther, the hype around what's the second one going to be, that was another huge expectations upon him. And then you also got the fact that it's a Marvel movie, and there's so many requirements in these Marvel movies that you have to get done, you have to set up this, and you have to do this. A lot going on, and he does a very good job. He does a very, very good job in making a solid film. Obviously, this film had, some things that were lacking, but they also had a lot of very good parts and a lot of very interesting ideas that just still doesn't make it a horrendous movie, but it makes it a solid Marvel movie. The send-off that they do for Chadwick Boseman, at first, I was like, this is, like, why don't they explain it more? They basically say, like, what really happened. Like, in a way, kind of like what really happened in real life. He had an illness, and he didn't really talk about it that much, and he waited to the end. And he's gone, like, in 5 minutes, and he's gone. And they don't show him or anything like that. But when I was thinking about it, there was really no other... It was a very hard way of writing off a character, especially when that character lives in the most technologically advanced, most powerful nation in the world, and they weren't able to save him. It was just very hard, but I think they did the best they could have possibly done, especially considering the circumstances. So I can't be too mad about that, but the overall tribute to him, especially with the Marvel logo and the very last scene with Shuri, those were very emotional, and they were very, very nicely done. That was good stuff. That's good stuff. It was very sad. So what I think kind of slowed down this movie were the introduction of new characters such as Riri Williams, Ironheart, and the whole Everett Ross thing going on around the back. Even though I did like that it was an expositional way of talking about what's going on outside of Wakanda, especially how, like, the Americans were taking this whole vibranium situation. But I was honestly bored with the Everett Ross stuff. That was when I went on my bathroom break. I don't know. I want to say it could have been taken out, because with that element taken out and maybe taking out Ironheart in this, they could have centered more on Wakanda and the impact within Wakanda. But I still liked Riri Williams. I thought she was pretty cool. I thought she was pretty dope. I don't like the suit. That weird, janky looking eyes and CGI. Wow. I don't like it. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I hope they have a better suit in the show or whatever. I didn't like it. And I didn't like the suits that Shuri made. Those Predator Power Ranger looking things. No, I didn't. It was not working for me. I'm sorry. Everyone got an Iron Man suit now. Soundtrack and score, amazing. Once again, Black Panther still has the best soundtrack and score for all Marvel movies. I have Shang-Chi very high too. This one, top 3 for sure. You can switch that with Shang-Chi. Either way, I won't be mad about either. Shuri takes up the mantle in this. I really thought it was gonna be Nakia. Or it could have been a Koi. I never even thought about it being a Koi. I thought I was really thinking it was gonna be Nakia. It felt kind of weird, but it did feel like obviously it was gonna be Shuri because she's the one who would take up the mantle. But her being, you know, technologically based and more science over tradition, it felt a little bit off for her character. But what are you gonna do? It was going to be her. Killmonger's freaking cameo was awesome. Was so awesome. I loved it. I love that whole little thing about, you know, Shuri is what is she gonna be more, vengeful or noble? And Killmonger was the one that she saw in the plane. That was awesome. I love that whole Killmonger bit. Still arguably the best Marvel villain. And on that note, let's talk about Namor and Talokan. Awesome. I loved it. I loved it. Costumes, amazing. The city itself, I liked it. I saw a lot of people didn't really like it because it was very dark down there, and that could be a result of the budgeting, and they lowered the light and everything like that. I liked it because it's in the depths of the ocean. There's no light down there, so I mean, it is hard to see. He did bring the light down there, or whatever, but I liked it. It felt very real, in my opinion, where like the Aquaman Atlantis was very colorful and lights, CG, and action. Obviously, this was CG too. I mean, they didn't go underwater and find it. Talokan. But Namor, I love his origin story. I love how it's connected to it's the Aztec culture, and that they use a real life language. And I like the whole thing where it was like, oh no amor, Namor. I like that. I love that. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. And I love the whole thing like this. Fucking right, Talokan. So sick. It was so sick. I love his motivation as well. It's very real, very empathetic, very similar. Very similar like to Killmonger, where like his reasoning is right, but his methods may not be. And I think that's what makes a good villain, because honestly, anyone could be a villain. And for them to have reasonable and motivation makes a good villain. It's just that their methods and some parts of their thinking are a bit wrong. But he was just trying to protect his nation, and he wanted to just destroy the world somehow. I don't know how that would end up working when you gotta go inland, and their biggest weakness, his biggest weakness is, you know, being dry for whatever reason. Maybe he needs like a water suit or something like that. I don't know how he's gonna fight, like when whatever, if he's gonna be against Kang, and you gotta get him a water suit or something like that, or just keep splashing him with a bucket or something like that. Someone just behind him just keeps splashing him with a bucket that way. Well, however they're gonna do it, is we'll see. I was thinking like, what did Talokan think happened when the snap happened? Did they peek their heads out when they're watching Thanos invade Wakanda, or like did they were like, oh shit, like half the people disappeared? That kind of sucked. They didn't come up to the surface and like, yo, you guys did this. I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter or whatever. Maybe they'll mention it later. Other than that, there was like a lot of questions I had regarding Namor's tactics and Shuri's tactics when they came to them fighting. Like after Shuri got kidnapped and they brought her back, she knew Namor was going to wage war, and she didn't evacuate the river communities in Wakanda. Then Namor decides to give Wakanda a week to prepare. I'll be back in a week. You guys do what you gotta do. I'll be back in a week. He should have just or maybe come back like in 24 hours, or end it right there. I don't know. He realized that there was more time in the movie, I guess. I don't know. And then Wakanda's big plan is to go out into the ocean with one boat, and fight the ocean people. How? Why? Well, at least bring in like, have the one boat with the sonic whatever, and then have like a little like defense of like battleships or something like that. Come on, this is Wakanda we're talking about. They could have had like trillions of boats or something like that, or be in the air and like have the sonic thing in the air go into the ocean, but get into the water on their home ground. Or like they could have drew them into Wakanda. Like where was that? Like when they fought in Infinity War, they could have put them out there. Hey, but it all worked out in the end. despite a thing bar right through Shuri's chest, tis a flesh wound, as they say. Wakanda Forever, what does this set up for the future of the MCU? It sets up Ironheart, obviously, and a potential Young Avengers, whenever that's going to be announced or whatever that's going to come, whether it's Kang Dynasty or whatever. Young Avengers, right? Thunderbolts. This could possibly be setting up Thunderbolts with, I always forget her actual name in the MCU. I know she's like Madam Hydra. It's Elaine, Julie Dreyfus. Her character could be setting up Thunderbolts or something for Captain America 4, which is rumored to be about, them making a task force to find vibranium. It could be them infiltrating Wakanda or whatever, which could be interesting because Bucky's on the team for whatever reason. Vibranium stuff. Doctor Doom, not mentioned at all, despite popular belief that he might be orchestrating this war. Not even a scratch of Doctor Doom in this. So when are we gonna see him? Who's to say? And last but not least, we got the future T'Challa coming up in the end credits. Not his son, T'Challa's son as well. When is he gonna pick up the mantle? In the future, when MCU still needs more money, and the Young Avengers, he could be part of the Young Avengers as well. So that is something to look forward to. When that's gonna happen, who knows? It could be like 10 years down the line. It could be 2 years down the line. We will see. Wakanda Forever, I put that on Letterboxd. I put a 3.5. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Letterboxd, but I think you guys should add me. Here's my profile. Just add me on Letterboxd. I love that. I love that app so much. I'm not being sponsored, by the way. I should be. I could be. I might be, but I'm not. So you add that profile, see what I got to say about different movies, and hey, maybe I'll watch something and I'll review it. Maybe. So, Wakanda Forever, let me know what you guys think about this movie. Do you like it better than the first movie? Where does Namor stand on your MCU villains? I think he's pretty high. Maybe not the number one. Killmonger is still, that guy's a stud. But what does he rank? And yeah, let me know what you guys think about Wakanda Forever. This has been Casey from Clutch Cinema Talk. I will catch you guys in the next video. I will. I know I will. All that. Later, guys.